Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look again on the euro currency. So yesterday we talked about the Great British Pound. Well, in general, as you can see on the cable, the short top context that we talked about here has erased, so because market has dropped at a deeper retracement, as you can see. This cable, so chance to go here has been destroyed by the market, we discussed recently. But in general, long-term view, the market stands above this area and trying to challenge this area in the nearest term. It's probably still valid, and we just need to wait and see for deeper standing support areas to make the decision on a possible position taking or something of that sort. So it means that since market stands near the top, you can see on the cable has formed minor reversal candle here. As you can see, bearish reversal candle has been formed recently. It means that a bit deeper retracement might happen right now, but overall context in the upward direction stands valid, and probably a bit later we will take a look again on this setup once market will be around some support area. So just keep an eye on the important support areas and the fib levels and watch for patterns there. So I would suggest that sooner rather than later market will turn up again, and because overall performance here on the cable looks nice, market shows very small retracements, and currently it's just a lot of common event stands in the shadow. So, you know, today's Christine Lagarde will talk. Later we will get non-farm payrolls release. Tomorrow we'll get ADP as well report. Next week it will be European Central Bank meeting. This week, again on Thursday, it will be Australian dollar, Australian Central Bank decision. So lots of information will be released in the nearest time, a lot of statistics as well, and market currently really stands careful, waiting for some clarity on this data. So on the euro currency as well, you can see what we have on the daily chart. As you can see, celebration lasts not too long. So upward action really has started, but currently market stopped and turned down. So that may be some careful activity, as I said, just because of the Christine Lagarde speech today. And it could give some hints. So market will trying to catch some hints on a possible changing in the policy that will come on the 10th of June. So because by our overall public opinion currently, the June session of the European Central Bank might be decisive, as it's a lot of expectation stands around it. Meantime, on the technical side, well, theoretically the trend stands bearish here, but overall price action that we discussed not quite bearish, especially on this response recently. So I think that market actually keeps bullish context currently, but as it can't proceed upward action, proceed higher immediately. So I think that we probably could wait and see for response on the market and some support areas that we have on intraday charts. So on the follow tab, first let's take a look on the hourly chart. So here is what we have traded recently with these nicely looking engulfing, which we call also as a rejection of the price, and said the market probably should continue upward action. Currently, guys, as you can see, the minimum target of this ABCD pattern and the candle itself that we have in this upward action is done. So because market actually has completed the OP target right now. And here market starts testing the sequence of different levels. Currently it retests this support as we have around 22 area. It's also the confidence support. And this is important. I would call it as a culmination point for short-term intraday bullish setup, because if market is still bullish and still dealing with this upward action, dealing with the short-term setup, it should stay above this area. Because if we treat it as a kind of the hand and shoulders, market has formed the OP, shows the pullback, and to proceed higher to the XOP, it should stay above this area, because breaking this consolidation, and so let's call it as a neckline to the downside, suggests that market will go lower, and that this ABCD pattern is completed. Because in this case, definitely market will take it out at the C point, and ABCD pattern will be erased. So to keep this context, market has to stay above the C point or better above this support area, because this is very strong support, and if market indeed stands bullish, it should stay above this level. So, and I call it as a culmination point, because if you trade on intraday chart, that's the point, actually this is invalidation point, that's the moment where you have to make the decision. Here you could place very tight stop. So existence of this level doesn't guarantee you the success, that you definitely will get the money, and definitely market will proceed higher. But that point just provides you the best risk-reward ratio. So, and here you will get the early answer whether market will be able to keep this context valid, or it will be crushed later by the just drop to the downside. One of the ways how you could deal with this situation, you could wait for a pattern, for instance. Let's take a look. Well, theoretically, it is possible to try and take a position right here with the tight stop somewhere below C point or even just below this area. But theoretically, you also could wait for, let's call it, the head and shoulders pattern. So let's take a look, drop your time frame to the 50-minute chart, and just keep watching this left shoulder and head. If market will form some reversal pattern here, well, that will be more confidence for possible taking the long position. So that's what we have in the very short term. If this context will fail, the market will drop below this area to try and starting dropping below the 2180, erasing this ABCD pattern, then it might be the picture of this kind. So in this case, we could get some deeper ABCD and return back to the 2125 at least, or even deeper. So it might be just deeper retracement on daily chart, kind of the ABCD pattern to the downside might be. So that's what we have currently on the EUR. But since we're coming to a lot of statistics, important statistics, well, it might be the driver for this action currently on the market. The dollar will become the background for all price performance till the end of the week, I suppose. Recall what we talked about, the non-farm payrolls release in general in our weekly report, because James Bullard said a couple of weeks ago that market should not count. Well, he said a bit differently, but the core was that non-farm payrolls might be worse in the nearest few times, just because of the effect of the pandemic and just market is not stable yet in the recovery. And he called to not count on really big numbers as market wants to see. So 500,000, 600,000. He said that might be 2-3 times weaker, as it was actually in the previous payrolls. So that's why everything still could happen, and market still could turn up if we'll get worse payrolls numbers. So that's what we have currently on the euro currency. On Australian dollar, guys, by the way, on the setup that we have, we're coming to the statement. It should be tomorrow. And right now what we have, actually not too many things. In general, as you can see, the hand shoulders is forming. On a daily chart, the important thing here is the tweezer top. So you can see this is potentially, well, it's not a very strong bearish moment, but existence of the tweezer top usually suggests that market could proceed lower. So I wouldn't count on, I wouldn't argue on decision by the Bank of Australia, but overall performance suggests that it indeed might be not as bullish as everybody expects. Here, by the way, could be formed the bearish grabber, so we could even check this whether we will get it. Yes, so take a look at today's closing. Today's Wednesday. Statement will be tomorrow. So theoretically, potentially we could get the grabber that suggests at least drop below these lows. So market currently is still going to the neckline. So we will see what will happen. So situation in Australian dollar is also coming to the culmination, because tomorrow's statement of the Bank of Australia will get the clarity whether setup that we're talking about